Alright, welcome back guys, or welcome to your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my review of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 4, Buried. Now, if that's something you're interested in, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos on Fear the Walking Dead moving forward. Now, let's begin. So, we start this episode off with a group traveling in Al's SWAT truck, and they're going to a location, and it's set up first to be where they plan to bury Nick, who had died in the previous episode. And you got Al kind of asking our three main heroes left from the original group, Strand, Luciana, and Alicia, what their story is. And we get bits and pieces of each of their individual story, what led them to this point, not like what happened right after the dam, which I was kind of disappointed in, but I do like how we got this kind of background information as to what led them to this point of where they are right now, where we met them. And I did like that, and we kind of get each of their own individual strand with this other guy, Cole. Then we got Alicia with her story with this new character, Naomi. And then we got Nick and Luciana's story. And I really like that, how they kind of divided each of them up, and each of them had their own reason to be out here and why they ended up out here in this situation. I really did enjoy that. I think the backstory for each had their strengths and weaknesses. I think one particular was a little bit more weaker than the other one, and I feel like they did a good job, however, connecting all three of the stories into the current storyline and how it led them to where they are now, and just expanding on a bit of each of their characters' background and story, and just a little bit more background as to where it came from and how they got to where they are now. So I really like how they did that, and it just added some more layer to their characters and just gave us a little more stuff to be interested in, to see what goes on in the flashbacks as well as what's going on right now in the present day kind of storylines. So first we got Naomi and Alicia's story, and I gotta say I was starting off with this one because I feel like it was the weakest out of the three different storylines that were being told in this episode. And basically the two of them go off to this water park, they find medical supplies, and it kind of gives Naomi a purpose at the baseball stadium to start up her own kind of medical kind of area, due to the fact that she used to be a nurse. And I did like that, expanding a bit on her background and giving her a bit of purpose in the storyline other than just being there. However, the storyline there, I did like some of the stuff they did with the zombies in the water. I did really like that storyline there. But looking back at the whole episode as a whole, I don't understand like the whole purpose of them going there. Like, it felt like there was too much time spent here and not enough time spent in other areas where we could have gotten better storylines from other characters. I did like how we got the origin story to where Alicia got her main weapon of choice. I do like that, and I hope they start giving each of these characters their own individual weapons, similar to like Daryl with his crossbow and Michonne with the katana. I hope we get our characters each wielding their own specific weapon moving forward. I think that'd be pretty cool. And other than that, we don't get more. I think the only thing that was most important here is what led Alicia to this point, and it was pretty much Naomi saying that the stadium won't last, eventually it'll fall. And I don't know, it just felt a little weak in my opinion. They could use a little bit more and just polished it up a little bit. It just, this kind of story right here just didn't do much for me. I love Alicia, I like her character, and I like this new Naomi mystery character. I really like her. However, I just feel like they could have just polished up what they did here and gave us a little bit more in terms of like story, and give us more motivation as to why Alicia left or how she got out here in this situation that she is now. I just feel like we could have just used a little bit more polish up of the writing, and it just could have been a better, interesting storyline for Alicia and Naomi. Then we move on to Cole and Strand's story, and this one was very interesting. I really did enjoy this one. It's still a tad bit weak and just could have used a bit more polishing up, but I think this was a very good, decent storyline for Strand. And you got him going out on a run with this new Cole character, and I really dig this new Cole character. I kind of call him like the Luke Bryan of Fear the Walking Dead. He reminds me a lot of that famous singer, if you know him. I'm sure a lot of you do know him, but he just reminds me a lot of Luke Bryan and gives me a lot of vibes like that. I really like his character, and he's got this thing for Strand, and he kind of is questioning Strand. Does he like him back? You know, does he reciprocate the feelings and have similar feelings. And you got Strand kind of giving in this journey, saying yes, he does. He has feelings for him. He just doesn't want to get too close to Cole and doesn't want to like get too close and eventually because of knowing his past with how he acts, doesn't want to get too close and then have something happen where he makes a mistake and ruins everything for Cole. So I really like that kind of storyline, and he brings up the rock, and it's revealed that he carries this kind of rock or pebble or whatever it is around to remind him not to be the person he was at the dam, and it's the last piece of the dam, and it's just kind of a reminder to him as to not be that person again. And I really do like that story, and he's trying to get Cole to run away with him. He's got food and supplies that'll last him a good amount of time. And Cole is like, we gotta bring this stuff back. We can't leave our people back there stranded with no food. You know, we're going hungry. We can't do this. And Strand, being Strand, kind of wants to just leave and forget about this. But Cole kind of abandons him, realizing who Strand is. But then then on his way leaving, Strand remembers the rock and then returns home with the food he had kind of stowed away with. And he and Cole kind of mend the relationship, and I really like that storyline of kind of Strand coming into who he is, owning his mistakes, and just becoming a better version of himself. I really did enjoy this storyline. I think it was a good, decent, strong storyline, and I can't wait to see what they do with Strand and Cole moving forward. I really hope Cole survived the whole baseball stadium collapse. I really hope that he's alive or is somewhere out there, because I really dig this new character, and I really, if they don't bring like Taka or Crazy Dog back, I think he could be a good replacement for those two characters, and I really hope he stays around and lasts for a good amount of time. Even if it's just a season, I'll deal with that. But I really think he's a good, strong character, just a good supporting character, especially for Strand to work off of and build up his kind of character in this season of Fear the Walking Dead. Last, we got Nick and Luciana's story, and this one was probably the smallest and least looked at kind of storyline, and it basically focuses on these two characters going to a library for some reason. I guess it has to do with what Madison told Nick about finding the good out in the area, and I did enjoy that kind of metaphor, but it just, I don't know, the idea of him going to a library and finding stuff, I did like what came out of it when they found Atlas, I think it was, and them deciding to move and go find things farther away from where they are and where the Vultures would think to look. I did like that. I think this is a good idea and added more into the storyline as to why these characters were out here. And they explained more to Al about how they all thought about leaving in this kind of idea where they go somewhere where the Vultures wouldn't be, and they all just kind of didn't want to. They kind of agreed to stay at the baseball stadium, and it ended up kind of being their own undoing. And I did enjoy that. I think that the whole storyline here with Nick and Luciana going here and then bringing this information back to our group is, we find out that this is what led them to being out here. And I did like that storyline. It connected everything up. And I don't know, I just like we could have used a little bit more with them. I think I'm 50-50. I feel like there was just enough, but we could have just used a tad bit more with them and just given us a little bit more information on their relationship. Since this will probably be one of the last times we'll see Nick, I just think we could have used a little bit more of that. But oh no, I'm not going to complain. I think it was a good way to tie in Nick's story and the story of why these characters are out here doing what they're doing. I really did enjoy that. I think it was a good, strong way to connect everything, and I think it was a good connection along with what's going on with Madison and the group. And it does give a lot of more questions too, which I really like. I know a lot of people don't like having these questions left open in the air, but I do enjoy that. It gives me more, wants me to watch it more. I know a lot of people don't like to have questions and want everything given to them right away, but I don't like that. I like it when you got some mystery and questions that need to be answered. So I'm interested to see where this whole storyline goes, moving on, following this, and this is Nick's idea pretty much, and how these characters react moving forward, as it was Nick's idea, and they're out here now, and Nick just recently died. I wonder how it's going to work with them moving forward in Season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. Meanwhile, at the same time, you got Mel, the leader of the Vultures, kind of taunting, Madison. And I really like this guy. I like the Vultures as a main antagonist. My only concern is how long it's going to last with them just sitting out there waiting them out. Because I feel like eventually they're going to try something, or our hero should try something. It makes no sense. Like, I know like the antagonists due to Charlie know how much ammo and stuff they have in there, so they'll probably be ready for an attack. But I just feel like they should at least try something to at least maybe get rid of some of them, target a few of their cars, blow them up, do something, and just cause a lot of damage, maybe scare them off. I don't know. But I really like what he's doing out here, cooking, and it's just I feel like it's a good kind of form of like psychological, in a sense. I won't say call it torture, but kind of playing with them psychological. Because they're running low on food. He's out here in the parking lot cooking hot dogs, I think it was. And you got you got to think the smell is gonna be going up to them. These people are hungry. They're gonna want to eat. So I think it's a good kind of scare tactic and kind of psychological warfare kind of sense where they're cooking out there and you think like some of these people might want to join them. Of course, they probably won't, but I really like how to use that kind of form of psychological warfare. It's a good way to fight these people when not at the same time fighting them. I think that's a good smart thing to do, and I just really enjoy that kind of idea of fighting back even though they're technically not fighting. It's just a good kind of something you don't see too much in the world of The Walking Dead or just in these post-apocalyptic shows in general. And I'm just interested to see what they do with them moving forward. Will they attack or will our heroes attack them, and how they'll overall end up being a main antagonist for Fear the Walking Dead moving forward, and what kind of precedent they'll set up for antagonists in Fear the Walking Dead moving forward into future seasons. So we then reach the end of the episode, and it's revealed that our heroes are coming to this kind of remote area to dig up a bunch of buried weapons instead of burying Nick. And here's my biggest cons in the episode is like Morgan wants to bury him, yet he only knew Nick for a couple hours, and I don't know, I guess it fits in with his all life is precious scenario. However, I don't know, it just it felt a little out of place for in reality that probably wouldn't happen. And then you got them digging up the weapons, and John Dory finds the revolver in the backpack that belonged to Naomi, and it's revealed that Naomi is the Zora character that he's looking for, and that he never really got her real name. So I did like that kind of twist. And then you got Alicia saying that she's dead. However, I do not think she's dead. I think that, in my opinion, unless you see the body, she's not really dead, and I think that they're going to save that for a big reunion, probably in the mid-season finale, if I had to guess, where John and Naomi are reunited. I'm interested to see how that plays out. And again, this is my biggest con, because when he finds out that she's dead, he just kind of, I don't know, I feel like we need a little bit more, like, where is she, how'd she die, like, tell me what happened, and none of that really happened. It just felt unrealistic, and a little bit like they just need to throw that in for dramatic shock. But I'm interested to see what they do with the flashback episode next week with John Dory and Laura's kind of backstory, origin story. And I'm interested to see what they do with that. Again, I think that's a good, solid episode of Fear the Walking Dead. They definitely been picking up their game with the recent episodes. And I'm interested to see what they do with the season moving forward, and what this journey is going to be for our heroes. Because there's so many unanswered questions already. And I'm just excited to see where the series goes in this upcoming season, and what they set up for upcoming seasons. And I think I've never been more excited for Fear the Walking Dead than I have been right now. And I think it's just due to the new direction the showrunners are taking them. And I think I was very skeptical at first at these new showrunners, but I think they're doing a good job, and I'm excited to see where they take the show moving forward in the future. So yeah, guys, that's my review of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 4, Buried. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and share. And don't forget to subscribe down below and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos on Fear the Walking Dead moving forward. This has been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I will see you next time.